What is up, guys? I'm going to be doing a bunch of Worlds content, but this is something that I actually found really interesting and not everyone's going to pick up on. Now in this video, Starhorn Royal Club beat TSM pretty easily the first time round, and the pick and ban phase really kind of set this up in a way. Now the cool thing is though that a few days later, TSM come back more prepared and they actually beat them. So this video is going to be comparing game 1 and 2 picks and showing you why teams are banning and picking who they are. So first off, let's look at bans. So Starhorn Royal Club banned Maokai, Nidalee and Alistair, all targeted at Tyrus, which isn't a surprise considering he's performing really well right now and they're already potent picks too. Remember, this is a few patches ago as well, where Maokai and Alistair haven't been nerfed yet. Now TSM banned Fizz, Lee Sin and Lucian. So Fizz is aimed at Khorne purely because of his amazing record in the regular season, and I guess when you have a Lee Sin mechanic named after you, you probably don't want to give that guy the champion. So first pick phase we see Zilean locked in. Now this is good first because it can go mid and it can also go support. It's pretty flexible and it also sets up Insect to focus on building damage on his jungler because of the revive. The first pick phase for TSM sees them getting both solo laners in Ryze and Zed. Now Zed is one of Bjergsen's best champions, everyone knows it, he's a really good Zed, but Zilean works well against him and I kind of think he outpicked himself. Okay, it's not really a counter or anything like that, Zed should win the lane and outfarm Zilean, but whoever Zed ults will just get the chrono shift and revive back up, so it reduces his game impact quite a lot. Now Ryze is a really safe pick considering the top lane bans. There isn't actually that much else apart from something like Lulu, but Ryze adds another threat in case Zed isn't able to do as much damage as he normally would. I mean, let's be honest, okay, TSM know that Zilean is good against Zed, right? And Ryze is kind of the backup in a way. So this second rotation is where it starts to go a little downhill for TSM. Starhorn pick up Rengar and Tristana here, both really strong picks. Now everyone knows how strong Tristana is right now, kind of borderline overpowered in most cases, and she's considered in the top 2 AD carries alongside Lucian, but TSM banned Lucian, so there's no real immediate trade-off to pick. Insect is also renowned for his Rengar, and the Zilean really complements both of the picks. So firstly, Rengar can build full damage. He can go completely YOLO in a fight and try to blow someone up because he has that safety net of the Zilean ultimate, and if that wasn't enough, the speed up lets him gank easier as well. Tristana is also really hard to kill anyway because of her range, her disengage ultimate, her jump away, and if that wasn't bad enough, when you finally do kill her, she's just going to get revived back up, or if you're behind, then Tristana can actually jump in on you with no fear of being killed. TSM answer these picks with their bot lane, and the answer actually isn't that bad right now. Nami provides a lot of sustain, which allows a lane bully like Corki to constantly trade with Tristana and eventually force her out of lane. Corki is also a good pick here because of when he hits his major power spike. Now if you haven't heard me using the word power spike before, I just mean when a champion gets a sudden spike or an increase in power, normally because of levels or a big item. Tristana is notoriously weak mid-game, right? That's kind of when she's still ramping up to late, and that period is where Corki actually has his power spike. Now in theory, mid-game Corki will be outputting a ton more damage, and part of that is because his damage is mixed between magic and physical, and so it's impossible to build against. The final phase for Starhorn sees them picking up Irelia and Janet. Now Irelia makes sense here because they need a dive buddy for Rengar and a kind of semi-tank as well, and Irelia is also strong mid-game and can punish Ryze while he's still stacking his Tear and Rod of Ages. The extra AD from her shield lets Tristana push really hard in combination with her explosive shot, so this means that Corki can't really trade because he's trying to counter push the wave, and while the shield is active it also means Tristana can auto an E for a lot of damage. The final pick for TSM is Elise, and in my opinion it doesn't really have too much of an effect overall. So TSM lose this game, right? And what do they take from this one into the next? So Tristana got out of control, Rengar was way too effective, Zilean prevented them from killing anyone, and Starhorn forced teamfights all game long. So moving into game 2 then, TSM banned Rengar, Zilean and Lucian. Now this is what I mean about adapting game to game. They recognise what went wrong and then they change the outlook. Starhorn are still going to target ban Dyrus, and they also take away the Elise from Amazing, which is kind of a surprise for me considering Amazing has tended to prefer Lee Sin anyway. Funnily enough, TSM first picked the Lee Sin, which is partly just because Amazing loves playing him, but it's also to take it away from Insect. Going back to game 1, you can tell that TSM fear Insect on Lee Sin because they banned it, and this time they don't have to because they can just pick it away. On the flip side of this, for Starhorn, they're going to take Ryze and Janna in this next rotation. And looking at Ryze, this is a safe pick again, considering what's open, but it's also another target at Dyrus, which is why we see them pick it up in the first set. So Janna is considered by most teams to be one of the best supports, as we said earlier, which is why they take her here. And Janna is also good at shutting down Tristana, but they're also denying the Tristana-Janna lane from TSM. This is where the Lucian ban makes more sense for TSM. They've taken one of the top 2 ADs out, and now they picked the other one, leaving Starhorn to figure out a way to deal with the Tristana. Nami provides a ton of sustain to help Tristana survive the lane phase, and is also Lustboy's favourite support, so that's not really a surprise there. You can also tell just by their picks that they're going to be going for a lane bully with the Janna, which makes Nami an even better pick to help Tristana farm. So Janna is more useful in fights than Nami is, which means to shut down Triss, they're just going to have to pick someone strong early, and the combination of the two will mean that they get control of the bot lane. So this is what we see in Starhorn's next picks. They pick up Caitlyn and Kha'Zix. So Kha'Zix is a very strong all-round jungler. He's probably one of the only people who can keep up with Lee Sin's early game pressure while also outscaling him, and it makes a lot of sense because you need some early pressure to compensate for Ryze's ramp up time. Caitlyn here is purely designed to shut down Tristana. Last game, where TSM decided to try and just outdamage her mid game with Corki, Starhorn want to just crush her in lane and not let her get any farm or items, effectively delaying her late game where she's going to be useful. The final rotation from TSM is, in my opinion, what actually wins them the pick and ban phase. Now, Orianna and Rumble are 2 huge team fighters, and Starhorn have a teamfight comp right now, so TSM are just picking champions that do it better. Orianna is a very safe pick considering Starhorn haven't shown their mid yet, and Khorne is known for his Fizz like we said earlier. Orianna is pretty hard for Fizz to kill, which prevents any kind of snowball, and Orianna is also good at protecting Tristana in teamfights. Now Rumble is also very strong mid game where Ryze isn't, and it gives a natural edge to TSM in early objective fights, which is where they fell behind last game. The final pickup for Starhorn was Fizz, and it means that they're going to have to go for picks more than an all-out teamfight because they simply can't just stand up to Rumble and Orianna. So there we have it. That breaks down both pick and ban phases and gives you some idea of why teams are picking and banning what they are and how they're evolving. I haven't done a video like this before, so let me know what you think, but most likely I'll be doing a brief version of these before breaking down team fights in games from Worlds. Make sure you leave a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed it, but I'll catch you in my next video.